So, with that being said, you all, coming up next, we have LattMackey is going to be doing Bonk's Adventure for the TurboGrafx 16. What is that thing? What is a TG-16? How many in chat who had never even seen one before? Who is it? Who even mixed it? Is that a Sony product? I used to play when I was overseas in Germany. I used to play at one of the PX. Some of y'all military brats know how in some army bases the electronics store was like completely separate from the PX. When I was in Germany, there in Rhein-Main, the electronic portion was in a completely different area. So all the stereo equipment, all the video game consoles, and man, God, back in the days we could just like play consoles. Remember playing consoles in the mall? Super Nintendo used to reset every 15 minutes. So you would try to get far enough to save before that automatic reset would happen. You know, that reset was supposed to allow you to, you know, okay, it's time for you to get off the console, someone else to play. Oh man, those are the days. All right, so we're gonna get Lat set up for this one, and we're gonna continue with some more of this 18,500. Yeah, I forgot about the CD, right? The TurboGrafx CD. Oh boy, there's a rare beast right there. So, $18,534. We're less than $1,500 away from hitting literally double the goal I had originally set. Can we do it? I believe. But thank you all so much again. $20 for Mellow Flows. Had to donate for this awesome cause. Keep up the good work, Big Jon. Hey, I'm not doing nothing but just pressing and capturing layout stuff. You all the hard work doing the speed runs and commentating and all that good stuff. 100 bits some Death to QWERTY, who says Kumba is best. $150 some Eggplant Wiz says thank you for putting this together to fight for something that is long overdue. Despite all the chaos this year has brought, I'm surprised by how encouraging it is to see people stand up and messy for what is right. What is long overdue, we haven't lost our soul. Thank you so much, Eggplant Wiz. And also $100 from Darkness Before Dawn. Then, again, thank you all for being all generous. And of course, just to remind you all, for those people who are watching and like, what is this Black Lives Matter stuff? Like, why aren't they promoting Black Lives? What about everyone else? You ever had someone who was like in need of like help, and you may have done something to help them out? So when you help them out, how come you didn't help out all 8 billion people on Earth at the same time? Because you're trying to help those who are in need, those who need the help urgently, the people that you're actually aware of. That is what this event is. For those who just can't grasp that concept, this is not saying that there are not other people who need to focus. Shoot! For those people who just can't grasp that, it's about, what about the white lives? Well, you know what? Hey, go start a White Lives Matter event if you just feel that passionate about it, and if you think for some reason this event's purpose is to put black lives above everyone else. No, this is trying to bring black lives up to par with everyone else. So we're not sitting here behind the game. Okay? This is trying to make sure that these people are treating us like equals, so we aren't having to do events like this, so we aren't being treated like some kind of substandard species. And this goes for all races have this issue. There are issues within our own race, within the white race. People don't like. There are white folk who don't like white folk because they like black folk. There are black folk who don't like black folk because they don't like white folk. There's intolerance all over the place. Now, we cannot fix every doggone issue on this world in one marathon. We're going to be dead and gone before we even get close to this being mitigated, if at all. But we're going to do what we can while we still can do it. All right? So when you in your life decide to focus on someone else, let's just say, well, what about your family members? Maybe you got a family member that's, well, what about all your other family members? What about your other cousins? Your cousins started moving. How come you ain't showing them no love? Maybe they don't need any help right now. Maybe they good. This ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new to the world. This stuff always existed. And if people were just blinded and didn't think it never happened, you think this just started because Floyd, because he died? You think this just started out of nowhere, out of thin air? Like this was some peaceful, harmonious world where everybody was just happy and jujubes and running down hills and with spirit fingers? Hey man, some folk are stuck on stupid with no hope. What can you do? What can you do? So that's the purpose of this event, because you would have to literally have a negative IQ to realize that there are some things that need to be fixed in this world when it comes to blacks being treated fairly across the board. Some instances they are, some instances they aren't. And this starts with fixing these people who just can't get that. You know? In fact, the next time those people, and in fact, some of y'all probably listen to me right now. The next time if you're a white person talking about, what about white lives? Don't white lives matter? Then you go find your white friends and ask them about the whole KKK. Then get back with me. Come back and then we can discuss. Okay, how about that? All right, go ask your white friend, your white brother, and your white sisters why they got that kind of thing going on. That's all I know. Right now, we ain't trying to go kill somebody and make someone above and beyond. We're trying to catch up. You know? Someone says not being racist is not saying the N-word. You know what? As a black man, I don't have any desire to say the N-word in any form or fashion. Some blacks say it's a term of endearment by using one ending. Another ending can be interpreted as one of the racist things. Big Jon's theory is, why am I even going to say a word that you got to sit there and do a double check on your ear to make sure I ended it with an A and not an R? I don't even want to entertain people having to even figure out what I said, because I, being a smart, educated black man, know I can find a better word to use that doesn't even have to worry about being, what'd he say? What'd he say? What'd he say? You ain't got to agree with me on that one, but that's just my thing. I got other words I can find to say. When I have to sit here and deal with a word that I gotta say, okay, you can say it, but I can't. Well, who made that law up? Who made that rule up? Is there just some rule that do the white folk have a word that they only can say and the black folk can't? Do they have that too? Does every race, creed, culture have a word that only they can say and others can't? Is that how it works? You know? You know? My thing is, I don't feel like saying words that, oh, I'm the only one who can say it. Or if I say it, someone else has me a problem with me. I ain't got time for that mess. You know? Treat folk equally, treat them with respect. Stop judging them on things. Who are you to judge anyway? Last time I checked, not one person on this earth is not flawed in some way, form, or fashion. So who am I to judge somebody? But I do know, like my grandma taught me, we need to treat others how we want to be treated. Plain and simple. Because quite frankly, you get the wrong person mad, folk lose their tempers. Folk can, you know, you know somebody that you know if you push their buttons too much, they snap on you. Some of those people might be your parents. But you know what? I told you not to mess with me. So reevaluate the words you're saying out your mouth. Reevaluate the actions you're doing to others. Put yourself in the other person's shoes for a second, if you even can take that time to realize, wait a minute, should I really be doing this? Is this how I want to act? Is this how I want to raise my children up? Is this how I want people to view me as this type of person? You know? Well, see, I'm not even about context. Find new words. Period. I've been on this earth and I ain't said that word one time. And guess what? I got a whole lot of black friends who we can communicate and we ain't got to say that word. What's up, bro? Bro, I don't care who says the word, bro. I ain't got to worry about you can't say that because of black. Well, what rule book am I following? You see what I'm saying? When you have to sit there and have a conversation about that word used in the first place and trying to base it, give yourself a reason why this person can't use it. Find something else to say. Find something else to say. You know? If I got some black folk and I'm at the work environment, you think I'm gonna drop any kind of invariant in the workplace? Oh, well, don't do it now because you're at work. Well, wait a minute now. I thought we were brothers. I thought that was a friendly. Well, it's not appropriate there. Well, wait a minute. Why are you gonna stop doing it just because there's other folk there? Why stop using it there? If it's a term of endearment, what if you're a black person working for a black boss? Why stop there? Just because you're in a professional environment? Oh, now you want to turn it. Now you want to go find one of those synonyms in the thesaurus. That's my thing, man. And when we have these arguments amongst our people, you wonder why other races are like, God, man, they sitting there doing all this stuff with each other. So, but you know, we got things to fix amongst each other. You know, we got blacks arguing with each other. We got whites arguing. We got Asians arguing with each other. We got people of European origin. We got people arguing within our own races. We're tearing ourselves down. That don't give them a reason to everyone else to do it. But we gotta make sure that when we're doing this Black Lives Movement, that we gotta be unified in this. You know, we can't be sitting here having all this friction amongst ourselves. We're trying to get equality with everyone else, and we can't even get our own house in order. You know? So, that being said, you all, exclamation stop. Our causes we're supporting, the schedule that's coming up here. You know? Well, again, roughly, here's my thing. One thing I do, Big Jon doesn't do, is stereotype and say people always do it. Yeah, people are always going to do something stupid. But Big Jon, this people ain't going to say it. You know? People are always going to do wrong. Yeah, don't mean keep doing it. People are always going to be, you know, that's my thing. That's my thing. That's where I am. So, you ain't got to agree with me. But I know what I ain't going to be doing. That's one thing about me. I don't have to worry about trying to filter myself in public because I don't use those words in the first place. I don't have to be reserved in nature. I thank my mom, my grandma for raising me that way so that I know that as I get older, I don't have to worry about the words of coming out of my mouth being taken as a potential threat that could cause these things in the first place. I make myself sound like someone who wants to be almost falsely judged because of my diction and whatnot. You know? Not saying I'm better than anyone else, but you know, it's one of those things. But like I said earlier, man, it's the appearance that you give to people, and people are really quick to judge you on that first initial thing. If they hear you saying anything like, "God, that's how the way he is. That's the way she is," you know. Oh, my mom done popped me inside my head sometimes. You know, I get out of line. What? So, you already $18,605.31. Lat is already. So here we go. Let's get ready for some Bonk's adventure for the Turbo Graphics 16 TG16. You know, so excuse me. Don't start none, won't be none. Oh boy, you better sound like a cheerleader. Don't start none, won't be none. Oh my goodness. All right, y'all. Here we go, y'all. We're gonna start in a few seconds here with Lat for Bonk's Revenge. I'm about to say Bonk's Adventure. That's the wrong game. Bonk's Revenge. Again, thank you all so much for all your generosity.
Well, I hope we're live. Geez, I got to tell you, John, listening to you talk, man, it makes me emotional. I appreciate everything you say. Appreciate the truth. Hello, everybody. My name is LattMackey, and Big Jon is awesome, right? Oh man, what a thank you, John, for putting on this whole thing, dude. This is this whole thing is awesome. And before we get started, folks, we're here for a serious reason, and there is actually a lot of things that we can do to make the stream is kind of quiet. Well, I'm up at full volume, so hopefully we can get up there. Up my mic, please. We can do that. Hopefully that's a little bit louder. Can you hear me now? Hopefully this is better. But I just want to say that there are many different ways that you can get involved. And one of the ways is by supporting the efforts of all these charities that we're donating money to. Let's get us over 19,000 by the end of this run. It's going to be awesome. And there are a bunch of other ways. You can, obviously the obvious ones, you can vote. There are so many. But one of the most important things that John was just talking about is that empathy. We can listen to one another. Just listen to stories, listen to people talk, and be supportive of one another, Push run to go fast. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. I need a countdown this time. No problem. I promise I'll walk us through this. So really quick, folks, my name's LattMackey. I do a lot of different speed runs on the Turbo Graphics 16. And if you never have heard of this console, don't worry. You're not the only one. I'll walk us through it. The console actually has turbo switches built into the console. So some of the strats you see. So every time I do a spin in the air with Bonk, I'm actually holding down a turbo button. So that's perfectly it's a perfectly illegal strat. That's allowed by the rules and everything like that. So we're going to try to beat Bonk as fast as we possibly can. I saw that Great Jon is in the chat. Great Jon is the current world record holder of this game. He has an awesome run. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. Let's keep raising some money. There's going to be a couple of intentional deaths. So I'm going to be donating per death. And if you are able to do so, please help us support such a great cause. And let's keep raising some money. Here we go, folks. We are going to do the countdown. Together, we're going to do this. Okay, here we go. We're going to be doing the expert category. And all that means is that we're going to be playing every single level in the game. That's the only difference between the intermediate, the practice, and the expert stage. So here we go. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay. So this is... Hey, Ice Queen. Great. Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? So this is Bonk's Revenge on the Turbo Graphics 16. And, well, this is basically what we're going to be doing the entire speedrun. Bonk is this dude with this really big head, and he likes to walk around a lot. He doesn't move very fast. He takes his time, you know, just like Big Jon has, like, you know, this nice, chill, relaxed stream. That's kind of Bonk in a nutshell. There are going to be some things we're doing here, though, that we're going to be picking up some meat as we go along. You'll see the first one come up here in just a second. But every time that I do that spin in the air, that is actually a holding down the turbo. So perfectly legal, perfectly viable in this kind of category. So we're going to get our first meat power up, and a lot of the routing in this game is actually done around getting the meat, because you'll notice here in a second, besides becoming invisible, the meat makes us move really fast. And so in any speed run, the whole goal is to get done as fast as possible. So the meat in this game definitely helps with that. Oops. And we're going to do another meat here. So we're going to get powered up one more time. And we're going to keep doing this throughout the speedrun, where we're just going to get the meat and then move as fast as we can. There's a little skip there that sometimes you can get. It's kind of a pixel perfect, a little bit of a luck there to get a little bit of a cutscene skip, but didn't quite get it, but it's all good. And this, so if you're not familiar with the TurboGrafx 16, it kind of came out towards like the end of the Nintendo Genesis era as we were moving into the Super Nintendo era of gaming. So it's kind of like a hybrid or a cross between an 8 and 16-bit console. It's almost 16-bit, but not exactly. So without going too technical about it, because I actually don't know, I think it had an 18-bit, or I'm sorry, an 8-bit CPU and a 16-bit graphic processor, if I remember correctly. So it had some, you can already tell, the soundtrack and the audio is really wonderful. It has some really bright colors. Like Bonk's Revenge is a really good highlight of the console and the system and what it kind of looks like. This is kind of what you get when you play TurboGrafx 16. It's kind of known for its shooters, but it has some really wonderful platforms, and Bonk's Revenge, one of my favorite. I was fortunate enough to grow up with Bonk's Revenge. I was that weird kid, you know, within a 30-mile radius that actually had a TurboGrafx 16 when they were growing up. Bonk 2 is love. Couldn't agree with you more, John. Okay, so we're going to pick up one more meat as we enter the boss fight here. And one of the great things about any Bonk game that you play is they actually have some really great sprite work done for the bosses. And so you're going to notice that all the bosses look much larger than obviously everything else in the game. And this is a little strat that we're actually doing damage while we're ground pounding here. Oh, it's going to be a problem. Let's go over and do it this way then. Okay, there we go. So when you end up beating a boss, you want to be on the right side of the screen, because you're going to notice now that Bonk is going to walk across the whole screen, and that is a bit slower than Easy Games. What's up? We got so many people in the chat. Dog, how's everyone doing? Sepper, good to see y'all. So typically you want to be still powered up as you're going through this section here. We obviously don't have meat anymore, but we can still spin through and try to make it through. There are some cool... Oh, I didn't want to do that. These little piranha guys you want to avoid, because, but besides they do damage to you, they slow you down as well, so... Drat! The typical saying. Oh, jeez. There are some cool things. So we actually have a really great task for this game. It's been done a couple different times, but the most recent one done by Memory Task. And she discovered some really cool things that if you can actually keep your momentum going through the water. It's not the most useful except in a couple situations, and we actually use it on the level you just saw. This is my favorite stage in the entire game. You get to really move up quickly through all of these, I don't you call them vines, I guess. It's kind of nice having this, you know, a different type of platformer where we're moving up and down instead of left and right. I'm not going to be using any jump turbo, but you can actually put the turbo on the jump if you'd like to as well. Drat. The clouds you are forced to bounce on, so you can do... It doesn't really work any faster or anything, but you can kind of glitch, you know, glitch out a little bit of the clouds. Of course, it doesn't really it doesn't serve any practical type purpose, but I'm gonna health up here just a little bit. Oh, that's right. I'm easy. I'm so sorry. That's right. Easy. You're on this this task as well. My sincere apologies. I totally forgot. It's been so long since I've actually grinded out this game. So. Okay, so we're on to this is the stage 2 boss, or the round 2 boss, and Jon, this one, Jon calls this one the Witch Doctor, and I think that's kind of a fair name for it. That might be what is actually called in the instructions, but. Jon has some really crazy aggressive strats that scare the crap out of me for this boss, but they definitely go faster, so. And we are off. We are done with round 2. And we haven't had any accidental deaths yet, so that's good. No accidental deaths at this point is a good thing. You notice there's these smiley faces throughout the... thanks, Easy. Thanks, Colin. You notice that these smiley faces throughout the game. There's actually this really cool bonus games that you can play in this if you get the little flowers or if you pick up the smileys. And as a speedrunner, we try to avoid them because they actually slow us down quite a bit by doing the bonus stages or collecting the bonus areas. So we actually route this to avoid a bunch of these smileys. Which if you're playing it casually, they're really fun to get, but in a speedrun, not so much. Okay, so we're gonna try here. We're gonna try sliding along the bottom the whole time. We'll see if it happens. Okay, we got it this time. Practice, that was a little sketchy, so glad it went well there. Avoid that there, and then we're gonna power up here again. And we're gonna try to carry this meat for a very long while, all the way into the next part of this level. Woo! Getting close, okay. Doke. And this is one of the more technical stages of the run. Actually, it's basically the first technical stage of the run. There's going to be some other areas where I'll talk through that as well. But so I'm going to try to focus here and not get hit by. There's these little dragonflies up in the. You'll see them. They're little ghosts. Those will slow things down if we hit them. So, but if I spin through them, especially when I power up, we can just kind of cruise through them, and they don't really cause us any sort of problems. Okay, and now we're at our next meet, and we're going to try and take this meat to the boss. This is not an easy part to do. The more meat that we can take to the boss, the faster we can get through the boss. So we'll see if we can get there. This is some of my favorite music in the game. If you notice, it's been kind of chill, relaxed. It's a really nice... The whole soundtrack for the entire game is really something I really like, but... it's going to be a little close. Oh, we made it. Okay. In practice, that did not go... Oh, and then I got hit there, of course. I clipped through one of those that... I don't know how sometimes we clip through some of those flowers. It just kind of happens. I'm not 100% sure why, but... That is true. Great Jon is a Bonk master. World record in basically every Bonk game. At least we got one. Okay, so we got one powered up hit, which is good. That we already just cut off one cycle, so that's a good thing. Oops, that was an accident. Oh, I just lose my power. So typically to beat this boss is a 5 cycle to beat the boss. We're actually gonna have to do it in 4 because we had the meat power up. The ideal is to do it in 3. 3, you're doing good. I just clipped through one of those flowers, which is kind of a weird thing to happen, but it does happen sometimes. And there we go! Bonehead! Bonehead! And we are finished with the... Okay. With what is this? We are now into round 4. And this is actually one of the few areas that doesn't have a meat power-up. So I will not be getting any meat. Doesn't happen too often in this game, but that's one of the places. There is a tough mini-boss that comes up at the end of the stage. Probably one of the tougher mini-bosses in the entire game that we'll be coming up to. And they don't look it, but they really are. So we're going to try and get through them as fast as we can. Okay, so we're gonna try to bunch these guys up and try to do some damage on them. Oh, we did. Look at that. Okay, we got lucky. Got a good... I'm going to do a skip here. So this is the first skip that we're going to do. And we're going to take some damage to try and skip past a big chunk of the stage. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, we got there. Cool. So that's the first skip. The second skip is coming up. That skips about 30 seconds of this level. So all of the swimming stuff that we have some really cool strats for, we don't have to do because we just skipped the swimming part. Here we go. Now we're on to the second part. And I'm going to try to hit this enemy at a specific spot. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, man, we over-rotated. So now we have to do an extra 50 seconds worth of stage. But it's okay. You get to see what it's like to really play Bonk's Revenge. As we're plowing through all these blocks here, these extra blocks, some interesting notes to pay attention to in this game is that you only get health from eating fruit. If you eat the hamburgers or if you eat vegetables or some of the other things, you actually don't get any extra health, which I don't know if this was like one of those, hey, let's teach kids good, smart, good lessons, I guess, about diet and stuff, but they have that going on, so. Okay, here we go. And we are back. Got through pretty quickly. Bonk, because yes, Bonk can totally be a cool mistress. We'll make it through here, though. So you'll notice that most of my getting of the items is around fruit, so that I can keep my health high. There are extra heart cases and heart pieces that you can get in this game that increase the total amount of health that you can have, but for the speedrun purposes, they're really out of the way as far as routing goes, and every time that you get one, it actually slows you down. It takes a moment to take an animation, so we avoid them in the speedrun, once again, to just try to get through these things as fast as possible. This was a really fun speedrun game to learn. It's one of the first ones that I ever did, and that's when Great Jon and I met, and we kind of started just randomly speedrunning the game at the same time. We didn't know each other or anything like that, and obviously being like the only two Bonk runners at the time, and still kind of in the expert category, him and I, there's only one other expert submission. So it's been nice that we actually had people to learn it with, and we had a really wonderful task community that helped with the game as well. So this is I call him Captain Crunch, but I think he might be Captain Hook or something like that, Oops. Oh no, that's gonna be a little bit of a problem. We can still do this. So we're gonna take a little backup strat here and wait for him to come down. Okay, well, we're gonna take two. So we have to take some damage boosting to get up here to hit him. And depending on your health... Why am I so far behind? Okay. Not too... when I said I have my splits up so I can see how to do it and stuff like that. Captain Cook, okay. Captain Crook, Captain Hook, Captain Cook, Captain Crunch, whatever captain you want to use, we can call him by that. And now we are on to round 5. Round 5 is the only level without a boss. It also happens to be one of the toughest levels, and if you're new to the speed run, this can really be a challenge to learn how to get through it successfully and not waste a bunch of time. Root! It kind of looks like level 1, and I think the idea here, in the instruction manual, this is actually referred to as returning to the village, because it's kind of like the, it looks the same as the first level, but it's supposed to be evening, I guess, and there's volcanoes and stuff, who knows. No copyright infringement, that's a good point, we should avoid that. That little flower there that you spawn, that's how you get to the bonus stages. There's this unwritten rule that if myself or anybody else gets the a bonus stage in a marathon run, $50 just automatically donated to the charity. So we're gonna have to do a climb here, and I am gonna be doing some intentional damage boosting, and I'm gonna take an intentional death during this, and you'll see that here in just a second. I can actually get up there. Thank you, folks, for all your donations that are coming in. I don't have it in front of me, but honestly, every dollar is really going towards some really great causes. So Okay, so I'm going to take an intentional death up here. Oh, yeah, for sure. The only problem about taking a death here is that's what happens. Sometimes you get enemies that start piling up next to each other. I am flipping on the turbo switches for these water climbs. Easy games. I am actually playing on an original. I'm actually playing on a Core Graphics, which is the Japanese version of the TurboGrafx 16. Their console was released in a bunch of different ways in Japan. Originally as the PC engine, and then some revisions known as the the Core Graphics. And I have one of the Core Graphics. There's also a CD unit. There's a whole thing around TurboGrafx 16. And we are on to the last normal regular stage. Whoa! We've got a raid! Thank you, everyone! Marlink, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome! You're just in time for some hot Bonk's Revenge action. I have to pay attention here just for a sec. Oh, jeez. There we go. We made it. And bad puns are totally appreciated. I mean, look at this dude's head. I mean, if we can't find something to, you know, have some fun with, let's go with Bonk's head. So it is a little bit slower here to kill the dinosaurs, as you're noticing, but it's a heck of a lot safer as well. Those dinosaurs like to just, like, chomp you up big time, so. Okay, we made some good time there. Yeah, that's, you know, JB, I've always wondered that myself, too. Like, why does Bonk get points for getting people's laundry? We're getting so close to 20,000. We absolutely are, folks. Keep them coming in. It's so great. I'll let you know how many. It's been a bunch of deaths already, actually. This is going to be an expensive run, to say the least. Oh, jeez. I did not mean to do that, but that's okay. Oh, no. Well, that's actually okay right there. There we go. I was wondering that same question. There's no way, like, how is John gonna sleep? I'm thankful that he's not sleeping. We're getting this amazing marathon, an amazing cause, but that's a good point. Who says he's not asleep right now? Okay, so we're coming up on the last regular stage boss, and this is gonna be, we call him Rocket Man. I think that's actually his real name, but I could be totally making that up. If y'all remember the Elton John song, Rocket Man, perhaps this boss is named after that. I don't know. 5-minute power naps. Oops, totally missed a second hit there. Come on back down. That was not the intended strat there. I should have been hitting it, but here we go. So one of the things about this game, if you play it on the original hardware, is that the way that I play it, I keep the turbo switch on all the time, and so sometimes I have to tap and sometimes I have to just fully press the button. And that's like, so if you see me over rotating or under rotating, it's because I'm not pressing the button correctly, because I don't turn the turbo switch on and off. In Bonk's Adventure, we turn the turbo switch on and off, so. And now, folks, we are on to the very last round of this game, but one of the characteristics of a Bonk game is that typically the last stage is like half the game. And Bonk's Revenge is no different. So we're gonna be playing all the bosses over again, but we actually have levels to get to them. So we are in the last stage, but that's a little bit misleading because we still have a fair amount to go, as you're probably noticing by the timer. Good chopper, that's good. There's 3 different Bonk games on the TurboGrafx 16. There's Bonk 1, 2. They call them Bonk 3 is Bonk 3. Then there's Bonk's Adventure and Bonk's Revenge. And there's actually a Bonk CD game as well, but it was just Bonk 3 with CD music. So nothing that different. So when you're first learning the game, this like area here is a great place to power back up, get some lives, do the whole thing, and not have to kill your run. And we're going to do here, just for some safety here, just to grab some extra life. Bonk's Adventure, PZ Engine 1. There you go, Murdoch. And these conveyor belts are really slow. Not a whole lot I can do about it. Air Zonk as well, very true. We're gonna play it safe, folks. We're gonna fully power back up here, just so we don't have to. Unfortunately, if you game over at this part of the game, you actually have to restart stage 7 over again. So to avoid that, we're gonna just take an extra precautionary one up and power up here. And some more slow conveyor belts. Bonk's Big Adventure, yes. Kind of like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but it's Bonk. And if you know who Pee-wee Herman is, you're probably my age then, and we'll all just, you know, we understand. Still world record pace, exactly. You know what? Technically, if we could somehow find some sort of crazy glitch at this point. You'll notice that I'm still getting meat and all that kind of stuff. That's obvious. We want to get through these bosses in this part of the game as fast as possible, so we keep finding the beef. Find the beef. Captain Cook! Or Captain Hook, Captain Crunch, or what other kind of captains are there? Oh, that was an accident. There we go. Much better. The secret word is bonk. Yes, there exactly. We have the poop. I did just say poop because in Air Zonk, Bonk, one of his weapons is poop. And I don't know if that's just kind of a sign of the time or whatnot, but you know. I know, I'm a pest. I'm a pest. Okay, we can skip this heart piece. And we're going to do a kind of a weird skip glitch here. You'll notice I don't turn into a crab. Normally when those feet squish you, you turn into a crab, but you can glitch it out a little bit so you don't have to go through that animation. Saves just a little bit of time, but not a ton. And we do have a little health power up here we can get, which we will take advantage of. And now we're back to full health. We have lives. We should be okay at this point. Oh, good question. Okay, hang on just a second. We are back to the Witch Doctor again. Mama told me something about the Witch Doctor. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ting, tang. Well, yes. I'm going to keep doing things so you can actually guess what my real age is. Yeah, so if you're actually at all interested in any of the TurboGrafx 16 stuff, the TurboGrafx 16 Mini is out, and I picked one up, and it's awesome. There are, you know, there's some things like input lag a little bit here and there, but unless you're speedrunning the games on the console and switch over, you're never going to know. They did a really good job. The graphics are awesome. The games, it's got a great games list, and highly recommend if you got it. It's really fun and a really great way to get into it. Plus, we are a really, really, really welcoming community. I'd say maybe one of the, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to say we're one of the nicest console communities you can find. We have a little Discord, and it's a really fun place for, you know, for the most part, I always thought there was just like 3 people who had ever heard of the TurboGrafx 16. Well, we are fortunate. There's actually more than just us 3. And we help each other out. There's a bunch of great speed runs for the console, a bunch of great runners, not just Great John, but we have some taskers. I mean, it's been just a really great community. This is some of my favorite music. After you've been playing this game for like hours on end, you get this really like chill, relax. Hey man, everything's mellow. No big deal. You're just doing a boss rush, playing the game. It's like all good, man. And it's like the perfect time and place for it. Here's where we're going to take an intentional death. Actually, normally we would. We won't, actually. We're going to actually not have to die on this boss, which is really cool. Hold her back to the ballerina. And the games list really is good. And they have save states. So one of the joys of being a TurboGrafx 16 speedrunner is that the EverDrive and the Super SD System 3, you know, the ROM carts don't actually have save states. And apparently it's kind of tough to implement on the console, and that's why we don't have it. So the fact that the Mini has save states, oh my god, it's becoming my new best friend. And yes, whoever thought you could have an inanimate object as your best friend, I'm gonna try to make that happen. I don't know if it actually will, but Yeah, there's a ton of great Japanese games. You get PC Engine games, TurboGrafx-16 games. Really cool. Really cool product. Totally agree. Easy Game says the fact that Splatterhouse is on the TurboGrafx-16 mini makes it worth it. Let me tell you, I speedrun Splatterhouse. Splatterhouse is awesome as well. There's a bunch of great games. I feel like I'm a shill right now for Konami selling the console. It's just because I'm a fan. I'm not getting any kickbacks. I haven't been endorsed. These opinions are completely my own. They don't reflect myself, Big Jon, or any of its affiliates. Just saying. Okay, we're coming down the home stretch. This is the last elevator stage we're going to play here. And this is actually going to be the boss of the first level that we played. So the turtle, and hopefully we're going to have a little bit smoother go at him than we had last time. Oops. Forgot to press the jump button. Apparently if you want to jump off a platform, you have to press the jump button. Who would have thought? Small little quirk about the TurboGrafx-16. It actually, instead of like the A and B button being A and B, they're referred to as 1 and 2. The 1 button is the A button, and the 2 button is the B button. On like a typical NES console. That was really close. Let's get out of the way. Wow, that's kind of bad luck. Hey, a 1 cycle on the turtle. That's the way it's supposed to look. You would not be against a Konami sponsorship? I don't blame you, dog. Okay. So, we are in the home stretch. We have 2 bosses left. We're going to fight Rocket Man, and then we'll fight Drool, and this run is going to be over. So, I'll let you know when we'll have to be standing by with time. If Big Jon is still awake. Hopefully I haven't put him to sleep yet. Didn't quite get there. Oh, wrong way. Well, that was not getting comfy. Nice. Very good. There we go. Okay. This is the final boss of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, may I please introduce King Drool III. Best sprite in the entire game. Look at this dude. If that just doesn't scream evil, I don't know what does. Okay. So we're going to try and get some hits on him, try to beat him, you know, that kind of thing. Oh, over-rotated. So this is King Drool is like the boss basically at every single Bonk game, and one of the characteristics of him is he's got the most ridiculous hitbox. And if you aren't truly a Bonk speedrunner until you complain about Drool's hitbox. Hey, look at that time! Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Bonk's Revenge on the TurboGrafx-16, also known as the second Bonk in the series. And honestly, if you're ever going to pick up a Bonk game, Bonk's Adventure is cool and everything. Let me highly recommend you start with this one because it's got a really good engine. It feels good in the hands. It just plays a little bit better than the Bonk's Adventure. Thank you so much for all the GGs in the chat. Before I go, and as we're watching this really cool ending cutscene, because I just love the credits on this game. Every time it's fun. I just wanted to do, first of all, a very huge thank you to Big Jon for, first of all, letting me participate in this event, but more importantly, having this event and hosting this event. One of the ways that we can all bring around social change in this country is for doing things like this, raising money for causes that institute change, listening to one another, being empathetic towards one another, and getting involved. And there's no better way to do that than to like raise your hand and do something like this. So, Jon, first of all, thank you so much for hosting this thing and putting it on. But secondly, for making such a big impact, folks. This is how we do it. We raise money. We do great things like this, and we will see change. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's going to take a lot of work, and it takes a lot of effort on our part. Vote. Do all those little things that you can actually do as an individual to support this kind of change. So, way out west, what's up, Murdoch? Thank you, everyone who's from my community. Thank you so much for being here and for giving the GGs out. And everyone, thank you so much for supporting this great cause. We're so close to 20,000. I bet we can do it. It's only 9 o'clock here in California. We can do this before it turns Sunday. We can raise 20 grand. I know we can do it. You'll see my donation coming as soon as I log off. But Jon, thank you so much for having me. And let's keep the money rolling in, folks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are so close. Everyone, have a good one. I will see you all very soon. Keep watching, keep supporting this great cause. Thank you so much.
Man, I hope y'all enjoyed that run, man. I never saw past that waterfall level. I think I saw the stage beyond it. That's about it. But I feel like I just had the 90s thrown back in my face for a second there. But yo, thank you so much. If you haven't already, give LattMackey a follow for all things Bonk. Right, the big head wonder himself.